welcome to my channel, Girl Leafy. I'm Alethea. Today I've got my wonderful husband with me, Alex, and we are going to be setting up a shelf, this heavy-duty shelf, which supports the hydroponic system, and so that's what the video is about today. If you have not subscribed to my channel, make sure that you click the subscribe button, and if you like it, give me a thumbs up. The rack that we purchased actually from Menards, and it is a heavy duty commercial steel shelving with wire decks. Okay, some of these come with a wood panel, but I really prefer the wire decks instead because, as you can see, it can hold up to 1,000 pounds per shelf, evenly distributed static load. So I think that's wonderful. The shelf, we're going to send it up in this type of way, but you can actually set it up in this direction. One other thing I want to mention about this box is that it weighs 75 pounds. So it is recommended that 2 people lift it, but 1 person can assemble it. However, having 2 people will just make it go by even faster. So we're actually going to go ahead, we're going to open it up and get all the pieces out and ready. We have a mallet here. This is pretty much all that you're going to need. And either some scissors or a box cutter just to open it up and get it prepped. Because as you can see on the rack that I have these containers that are 10-gallon containers full of water. Some of them are less, or this is about a 4.5 to 5-gallon container. So it gets heavy. You can see I have 2 large containers on that shelf.
Set up the rack, and you want to keep all your brackets together. You have the size of the brackets, which the ends connect to where the shelves go on, and you have the longer holes that will connect to these brackets. I don't know if you can see, and eventually you're just going to slide in there instead of hammer it down just to make sure it's snug, and they're going to connect. And however you choose to assemble your shelf, how high you want it or how high you want your shelf, it's up to you, depending on what you want to set it up for. But we're just going to show you how we're going to set up kind of similar to this shelf right here.
Okay, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 5 metal racks as well that are leaning up there. Okay, so Alex, so what do you recommend that we get started with first?
Well, what I recommend is we start with the plastic footings, the feet.
These?
Yes. You can open those up to me. The ones that are plastic.
The ones that are plastic?
Yes.
These? Okay.
These are, save these because these are for the covering for the top and the bottom of your shelf. You don't want it to scratch your floor. So we can start by...
So like the top, you mean like, so the top, once the panels are set up, like the poles, you put it at the top and put it at the bottom? Is that
yes,
what you mean?
because you don't want to scratch your hand on anything, or you don't want the floor to scratch your surface.
Okay.
So you literally just have to take this right here.
Now there's one thing I want to mention. The reason why we've picked shelving like this instead of the other ones, like there's other good shelvings that are out there as well that you can put together, but they adjust differently. It's kind of hard to describe, but there's some shelvings that when you take it apart, and if you want to move the shelves up and down, it's harder. You have to actually take the whole shelf apart and reassemble it. But with this shelf, what's really convenient is that you just take a mallet, you open up one of the flat shelving, you bump it up and move it, and it doesn't fall apart. So you can readjust your shelving space depending on how your plants are growing if you ever need to, without having to take apart the entire shelf.
Yes, exactly. And just remember, when you're setting up, the big keyhole is faced up. Don't face it where the big keyhole's on the bottom. Face the big keyhole up, because when it's time to put your brackets on, they'll lock properly in place.
Okay, that's a great pointer.
Okay, so I'm gonna slide one of these foots on here. And you could either push it down with your hand or take the mallet and get a little tap to it. So it's just really simple. It goes on, and one side is done right here. Well, the directions are pretty simple. It's a lot of pictures, so you can just look in small directions so you can read. It goes from 1 all the way to the back of it to 10. And just take your time, make sure you follow the directions. And it's recommended rubber mallet, or if you want to, suggested for gloves too, to wear too as well. And we're going to start with these four sections. We're going to start with the feet on each of them. So we're going to set up 4. I have 1 so far. So 1. Remember, keyhole top, okay? The big keyhole goes on top. There's 2. Okay, there's 3. And the last one. 4. And as you can see, that's number 1. That's the first step that is done. That is complete. That's what directions requires you to do for the first step. Connect those 4 together. And then we're going to go on to assembly number 2. Assembly number 2 is we're going to first start with our side brackets, the bottom ones, because we want to hold these 2 together. See this right here? And we're going to work, it's going to look like that separately when we're finished. So we're going to take one of these side panels, we're going to fasten it to one of those brackets right there. Remember, depending on how far you want it, this is the bottom one, so you want to try to get it low. I don't know if we want to look at the finished one too. See how far it is from the ground? That's where we chose to put it. So you can count the dots. So 1, 2, 3 is how they are. And we're going to keep it 1 from the ground. Let's put it right here through the big hole. And then it's going to go down. That's it. But we're going to take the mallet and we're going to tap it down just to make sure that we have everything positioned safely. Okay, we just finished the first rack right here. So we have our rack. You make sure the bigger hole is up, facing up. And similar to this one, we have the middle frame. Now, remember this bump part you want to be up. You don't want it to be upside down this way. Okay, you want it to be up. I don't know if you can see the little, show the camera, the little nozzle. You want that to be face up. You don't want it to be upside down. That's where your rack's going to go on eventually. Okay. I hope this helps some of you. So we want to put this on the inside of it real quick. If you can see right here. So we just want to go. I have mine 1 up from the bottom. See, just like that. That's how simple it is. It goes in just like that. And all I want to do is I could either take the little mallet and give it a couple taps just to make sure it holds. And that's it. And it slides into that groove. And we're going to do the same thing for the other side. So we're going to take it and we're going to put it on 1 up from the bottom. Here we go. And then we're going to knock it with the mallet. Making sure they're even. And then we're good right there. So now you've set up the 2 corners. So far, so good. Now we're going to connect the longer piece into these 2 side pieces. Similar to this already fixed shelf, it's going to connect them both together to make the length of the shelf. And the longer piece, it looks similar to the side piece, but it's a bit longer. This is it right here. And remember that little lip on the front of it? Make sure it's faced up, because you're going to want that when you put your rack on there for support. Okay? So how we have this right here, we want this to go to the lengthwise. So imagine this is going to be against the wall, right? So here comes the back part of it. We'll start with this side first. And we're going to go from the inside out. You hold it right there. One up from the bottom, remember. And we're going to put it in there. You see those two nodules?
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. You have to hold it.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to slide it up here. Make sure it goes in those holes. I got it right there.
We'll get another better view angle of this on the other side once we get the other side set up.
And you may notice some of the racks come from the store to manufacture. They may be slightly altered or slightly bent due to the shipping, because sometimes they stack things on top. That's not a problem. The metal's pretty ductile, but it's very sturdy at the same time. Right there. And that's why it's easier to have a partner to do it in twos instead of one, but it can be assembled with one person. And we're going to take some mallet and we're just going to tap it down just to make sure that it's a bit sturdy. There you have the first piece. So now we're going to do the opposite side right here, and we're going to show you a better angle just in case you missed the first previous view. So remember, this lip right here is up, face up. You want this lip to be faced up. This bigger part of the lip, you'll see with the holes in it. And we're going to put it in from the inside, not the outside. Okay, so let's start with this side. Remember, we did it one from the bottom, so let's want to keep the pattern the same. Get a little tab with the mallet. And then we're going to go to the other side. One from the bottom. We'll tap it with the mallet. We've already got the base of the rack. And all we have to do is keep on building and building until we get to the top and put the sides on, and eventually we'll be almost done. Okay, great. So here we have the four corners assembled onto these poles. You just want to make sure, because sometimes they can come a little bit loose while you're starting the bottom. Next up we have these little pins that are important for this particular model. And you'll see a pack of pins. They'll come in a pack of 4. And you'll see it. Each have 4. You have a total of 8 pins. And they work similar. One goes on each side. Depending on how you are hooking on your shelf, and we're doing it horizontal, or vertical, excuse me. So you take this little hook right here. There's a little hole in the bottom in the center. You can see it. I don't know if it's better to look this way. See a little hole right here? You want to come up with it right up, and it hooks up just like that. Let me put it the other way, I'm sorry. Go down with it first. Just like that. You see it? I'm going to let it sit right there until we get the bracket on. I'm going to show you the platform up. We're going to do the same thing with this side right here. We're going to come up from the bottom. Get that little hook right there. Just going to drop it. These are just safety hooks that are used to help with holding on the metal bracket. I'll show you in just a minute when we put it on. Okay. I'm sorry, I should have went this way with it. That's correct, yeah. All right. So next up we have the metal mesh flooring for it. So I believe it's universal, so there's not a particular side that you want to put it on. They're both the same way. So it's universal. So we're going to put it down. And you see those lips that I told you to make sure you put it in the right way? We're going to slide it onto the lip right here. You see it? And then we're going to just put it down so it can fall in place with the rest of the lips. You see how it just fell down right there? And that's just wonderful. Now these little bracket things that we talked about for this little metal piece, it's a short little, simple little way to keep this from sliding in case you put a lot of weight. Because remember, this can hold up to 1,000 pounds. So it's a little safety measure thing they put on just to make sure that flooring doesn't slide too much. So all you have to do is take it up right here. That's it. And put it up here. And so it goes on right here. Go on the opposite side. Excuse me. Let me put this up this way. Make sure I put it on correctly. So all we have to do is take this, have it slither right here, and this hooks on right here. Simple. I see if it slides up, it stays in place. It's that simple. Okay? And we'll do that to the other side. And some people like to wait until they put all the shelves to put those on, however way you want to do it. We're just showing you piece by piece. All right, now we're going to go through our next level of shelf. This will be a lot quicker. And what I like to do is from the last shelving that we had, the last shelving point right here, I want to count up, and we like to have it, we're going to choose to have it about 18 little squares up from the further shelf. So I usually count. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say the reason why that we're doing that is because I'm putting the heavier containers that are 10-gallon type containers, just the larger plants that I'm growing on the bottom on the first two shelves, so I make them really wide. And then the top two more shelves at the top are very smaller. They're about 12, I would say, would you estimate that's about 12 inches in height so that I can grow microgreens?
Yes, very well. So I'll count from here. See the blank hole, I'll start that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17. And we're going to put it in the 18th hole. And so remember, I'm starting with the middle shelf first. Remember the flange on top. And we're going to the inside. So we'll take this in the top right here. And we're going to put that side in. And if you can match it up well, sometimes people have a good straight eye they can see. Or you have to count the other side too as well. And so 18 will fall about
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
And 5 will be right here.
No, one more down. Yeah, like right there.
Right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Count it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect.
And then you want to take the mallet, give it a little tap. And it becomes sturdier and sturdier each time you build it. So we're just going to move along quickly and do the same thing to other sides. Grab that side. This side.
Got it.
Got it ready? Tap
Yep.
down.
Got it.
I'm gonna put our hooks in. I like to do the hooks first. Some people don't like to. I like to do hooks first, but this matters whatever you want to do. And I'm gonna start putting the hooks from the bottom up. I may have made a mistake to put it on the top, it goes to the bottom. Take these little hooks right here. Go. Other side. There you go.
So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna finish setting up the rest of it and then show you the final product.
Okay, I want to show you as you begin to get higher with your rack, you're going to have these space connectors. You're going to connect in addition to the poles, because the poles are only about 2.5 to 3 feet long, and they're going to connect additional poles tall. So, for example, this pole right here is going to stand right here. but the connector is going to allow it to connect together. And the first thing you want to do, all you're going to need is your mallet, and you're going to take these little grooves that are right here in the connector, and you're going to put it in the side corner right here. And you want to tap on it. I like to tap on it right there until it's as far as it's going to go. You can see it right there. And all you have to do is take the next metal piece, and just connect it by putting it in the same groove right here. And tap on the top of it with the mallet. And there you have it, it's connected. We're going to go ahead and connect the rest of these connectors. Go.
I hope that you liked this video and that you were able to really learn how to make a sturdy metal shelf. And you can do this for your growing or just to store anything on it. But I like to use it for microgreens and to grow my indoor gardening plants. So if you really like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And remember to grow leafy, and I'll see you next time.